What's up, guys? Welcome back to round number 2 of the NSP Supercross Championship. Today we have got an incredibly long track. We are at Las Vegas today, and it is speedway style with a little Aiden twist. So all he's just said to me is very fast, long rhythms and split sections, which sounds like a pretty good time if you ask me. I find that especially this year's real life Supercross tracks, A1 in particular, I don't think Supercross tracks have enough Supercross in them these days, if that makes sense. There's not much in the way of long rhythms, so I'm a big fan. I think every Supercross track that's ever made should have at least 2 rhythm sections. A1 this year, for example, had 1, I think, and that was it. The rest was just weird singles and doubles on straights. So I don't know what else to say other than let's get into it and try and do the track some justice. The issue that I've got is I'm under a bit of a time crunch, and look how that's a lot of track to learn. Like, that's a hell of a lot. So I'll do my best. I imagine there's going to be some disgustingly big lines around this track for the boys to try and discover. I'm just going to try and take the safe lines to show it off to the best of my ability. So let's get into it. You know, the great part about previewing and riding these tracks where I'm not competing on them myself is that I get to ride bikes that are banned in competition, such as the Beta 450, which I'm still a massive fan of. Such a good Supercross bike. And as we try and ride around this a little bit, I need to work out where we go, and I'll set a track mark here before the finish. A little bit of a topic of conversation to have, I guess. There was some murmurs over the last week or so, mostly from some of the top boys in Aerial, about instead of banning like the Beta, or they've now banned the TM, for example, as well, it could be quite cool if unban everything, and then each week, so say we race Ironman and Ironman finishes, we then do a quick spin wheel at the end of that night, and that decides what bike everyone has to ride the next week. So you've then got like a week to get suspension dialed, skins made, all that good stuff. And I really liked that idea, like a lot. I would have loved that, because a lot of people would complain saying, oh, it's just going to be boring because there's one colour of bike on the track. But for the most part, it's pretty much like that anyway. Like, at the moment, it's a majority Yamahas or majority Fantics. Last year, it was all KTMs, for example. The year before that, it was all Yamahas. So I don't see it as being too much of a difference. That's just my opinion. But I'm very curious to see or hear what the greater community thinks of that. If you're, let's say, a spectator of the series rather than a competitor, would you like to see everyone forced to ride one bike? Because obviously then all the bikes on the track are the same, so I guess from a diversity perspective it's not great. But then you'd also get to see like the best players in the game riding bikes like the TM 450, for example, that's just a bag of dicks, which I think could be quite funny, seeing who can tame these bad bikes the best. And I was all for it. It seemed like some of the other top boys were for it as well, but we ended up going with the route of banning the TM 250 and then I guess sticking out is, I mean, it's basically the end of the season, to be fair, and people are in points battles and people pay for model swaps on certain bikes as well, so that's another dilemma that you have to try and deal with. So I can understand the reason for not doing it, but maybe in an upcoming series it could be a really cool idea. But again, interested to hear your thoughts down below. So let's try and lock in a little bit. I can already tell that this is a difficult track. This was a little floaty double into the corner, yes. Going into the dark section there. That might be a bit tricky when the road comes in on that corner, with it being so dark. We can double... We've got here maybe a little tyre tap, possibly. Quad? Yes, that Beta power coming in there. Little quad double into the turn. Round to the right, another whoop section. I do think that's whoop section number 2 here. Can you do any... I was wondering if you could do any like scumbag lines and go from a high side to a low side by cutting across. That seemed a little bit difficult to do. That was a bit techie. So... that was 1 lap. It's taken me 2.5 minutes. Wow. Okay, that might be hard. Is this forced to wall? Can you? Oh my god. Okay, you can't. You can't send it. You can't send it. I thought it might be teeing us up to do some kind of like weird triple or weird quad, but there is an invisible barrier there. I don't know if that's the whole way across. I don't know if maybe left side you can't send, but right side you can. That's for something for everybody to test. But I am a big fan of these longer Supercross tracks. I think they're just the way to go. I've said it multiple times. And to me, this is kind of what Super Motocross should be. Not 90% just singles and long straights. Again, let me know if you agree with that. I'd love to see... I imagine it'd be quite difficult for the real-life boys to memorise a track like this, though, for example. But it does track difficulty aside, because this is going to be quite a difficult track, probably the hardest out of the 3 that we've had so far. The fact that you get, what is it, like 20 minutes to learn the track, and then you have like 30 minutes worth of qualifying, it's a long track to learn. So you not only do you have to memorize where the track goes, you also then have to try and work out what rhythms you can do, what rhythms are the fastest. You haven't really got much time to experiment with different rhythms either. Like right now, I'm just kind of waddling my way through and just hoping, oh my goodness. Stuff with some of these jumps have different peaks to them as well than other ones. So when I just tried tripling there, I almost quadded by mistake because it was a particularly peaky jump. I think it was a 5-footer rather than a 3-footer. Got a little dragon's back, onto table, off, triple. Let me see if I can quad that. Oh, not quite, but I didn't get a great downside. Little wheelie, triple out of this. Could probably then quad this. But then you'd only be doubling. I don't know. This one, I mean, there's a lot of thinking going on here. I like that we've got a left side there for 450s compared to a right side for anybody who wants to rock up on a 250. Nice little differentiation. Up and over this, let's try a left side here. That, I don't know if that felt quicker or not, because then you can't double that afterwards. I think right side there's probably better. In the 2 laps I've done, comparing left to right, I think right side there is the move, because then you can hit the quad in the rhythm after that. Oh my goodness. I mean, I know the beta is disgustingly fast, but I've not got the suspension dialed at all right now. Whatsoever, just straight over the bars. I definitely think the whoops have been built different here than the other tracks that we've had as well. Like these whoops feel a lot more cupped out. They feel a lot taller than usual. So if I now check up here, we'll roll that, double in, step over, double again. I want to try and do a lap that I just don't completely mess up a section. I'm fine going doubles or triples. I just don't want to have to end up rolling anything. And triple again. And probably quad. Yeah, you can probably quad out there if you go triple and stay quite low. Got a triple out of this. Hook to the right. Have I tried this right side yet? Oh, so you go double, then whoops towards the end. I think outside might be quicker there. Because the whole thing's a whoop section rather than that little double in. And that double in does cost you a bit of time. Then step on, off, triple, nice, then just jump into the corner. Can I triple out of here? Oh, I can. Nice, triple into here also. Round to the right, I think this is a soupy triple, which it is. And then if you downside this nice, there we go, I could probably quad this all the way. Yes, lovely. I'm just going to go on-off. I'm always a big advocate of if there is an on-off, unless you can quad it, the entire thing, you are much better off going on-off, because you get your wheels down on the ground, you get to accelerate a little bit again, and the quicker you are on the ground accelerating, the further forward you can go, and the faster you can go as well. This is a much more... It's obviously not a fast lap by any means, but it's a much smoother lap. Hopefully I don't jinx myself by saying that. Bit more oomph for that quad as well. Nice. What if I go outside here? I think you're probably meant to triple in there rather than the double that I did. Get over that. Oh, a little tap of the back brake. Let me try right side here as well. I've gone left every time so far. Yes, it's to be expected. Basically this. Oh, my. Okay, remember to turn right. Remember to turn right. Backflip. Oh, why'd my bike turn? Ride it out. Ride it out. Ride it out. Thank you. Let's go, Paboso. And then I don't know if Aiden wants us to tyre tap there or if it's just meant to be to soak up a little bit of speed. Triple my way into the corner, round to the right. Right, let's try and get the whoops better this time. See, I double upshifted that time. Can we... Is there a wall here? There's no wall on that one. That right side is very nice. Very, very nice. To the point where you might even be able to clear the entire section on that far right if you get a good enough run at it. Okay, okay. So I see what he's done there. He's made the wall there so you can only double, or he's done it on the left so then you could probably triple in from the left side, and I think any time you can triple instead of doubling, it's going to be quicker. So left side over those walls. So if I scrub this harder, I might be able to get this quad out now cleaner. Yeah, little tap of the brake. Get the front end pitched down, all the way up and over. Jump into this berm, square this. Oh no, front end's going to dip. Okay, do not wheelie into the whoops. Do not do what I just did. And, oh, I thought he was going over the bars. Oh, that was sketchy. I've been very sketchy. These are my first laps of the day. I apologise. I've been out riding. I'm recording this Saturday night. So I was racing today. And the track's only an hour away, luckily. So I got to come home and I get to sleep in in my own bed, and then I get to get up first thing in the morning again and go and do it all again. I wanted to say in advance on the GoPro, I had a very good race today. Like my best race so far since getting that VARG, which I want to upload, but I accidentally got my settings wrong on the camera that I use. So I used an extra wide setting, which is obviously what you want, but I set it one setting too wide to where it turns the auto smoothing off, so it's a little bit on the shaky side. Haven't imported it onto the PC yet, so I don't know fully what it looks like, but when I was just watching the little preview back on the camera itself, it did look quite shaky. So apologies in advance if it's not up to the usual standard or quality, but it was a nice race. Compared to the last video that I uploaded at Hawkston, where I was actually just treating it like an enduro race and tiptoeing around on the pegs everywhere, I was actually going well this time, but the track was much more to my style. The track started off really, really wet at the beginning of the day in qualifying, and I was awful, and then it really dried out by the last race of the day, and that's when I had the most success with it. So yeah, give that a watch when it goes up, probably Monday, I think. We got this. Get over it! Oh no, not quite enough oomph, because I messed up the whole section before that leading up to it. Where is that bit? Oh, here it is, right. Get off the back of the bike. That's it. I'm going to send it over it, tap the brake. Okay, no, maybe you can't clear the whole thing, but I think where I landed there with that one little single left, really, really nice. Because it's a small single as well. It doesn't like yeet you into the corner. So if I check up here, I should be able to triple after this. Yes, and then all the way into the corner. That's much better. Much, much better. I really like that. And then double, and then this is the triple, triple quad. I'm slowly learning and slowly remembering everything is. Triple went too far, so I can't quad out. I'm just going to have to triple out. And then I think this is triple single, which it is. I'm going to go... I actually quite like the right side there. Some of these split lanes are making me think about what I'm doing, which is nice. I love when Aiden actually makes things seem fairly equal. I think one or two of the splits, there's going to be like a massively dominant side, like that big old jump towards the end of the lap. But some of them do make you think, like that one there, going into those whoops. Around to the left, I'm just going to go double... triple single, and hopefully I've done somewhat of an okay job of showing this off, but it is a incredibly difficult track. I mean, I'm on a 2:30. Actually, that 2:30 was my first lap. I have had laps not count since then. Have I been going off the track a bunch? I don't feel like I have been. Might just be a big skill issue on my behalf. Maybe. We'll see. And then triple, step over. See there, I probably could have given it a bit more oomph and got onto that second table, but I'm actually to the point now where I'm scared of wadding myself, so I'm taking my time more. Up onto that one, you might even be able to step over that if you get a good drive, and then you might be able to step onto that table as well. And there's lots of ifs. There's lots of ifs, buts, maybes, not sures. Double in, scrub that, quad that a lot easier because I stayed quite low. Nice. And then I just have to keep telling myself and remembering that I need to jump to the right-hand side here to line this up properly. There we go. That's probably the best I've hit it. And then up and over this table. Nice. Should have gone to the right side again. I forgot. Can I still quad this from that? Oh, you can. You just got to give a little bit of body English in it. Get the rider moving around a bit. Do 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 do. And then yo yeet. Very nice. Very nice indeed. That is a really satisfying jump. Maybe my favourite one on the whole track. So there you go, gamers. That was a couple of laps around round number 2 of the NSP Supercross Championship created by Mr. Aiden. The most difficult one so far. And it might be biased because I'm not racing it. I'm just going to be in the commentary booth. By the way, join me later for the commentary. I like the difficulty because I think it's going to separate people a lot. It's that skill gap that I think the game needs right now. So if you just wanted to double and triple your way around the whole track, it's relatively okay, relatively straightforward. But then when you go and put all the fastest boys on there and they want to try and bust out quads every single section, trying to do that every lap, to time that every lap is going to be incredibly difficult for them. So big fan. Gets the Lynn's thumbs up. Good job on this one, Aiden. I'm very excited to watch the fast boys do their thing around here. Thank you all of you for watching. It's very much appreciated. And if I could just ask for the YouTube thing, just a little like if you enjoyed the video. and subscribing to the channel if you want to see some more of this. I very much appreciate it. It does mean the most. And have a lovely rest of the day, whatever you're up to. And I'll see you in the next video, which again will probably be that one good GoPro that I finally got riding IRL. Catch you next time.